Hello, and welcome to the House Files, a podcast about building a triplex in Portland, Oregon.
Which mostly exists to talk you out of doing it. Although today I think might talk you into doing it.
Kind of.
Because today we're going to talk all about all the built-ins that are in progress around the house. And that's something that you get to do when you're building from scratch.
Yeah, they're very cool. I will say there are easier ways to get built-ins.
True. Well, some are super custom, some are kind of cobbled together with some IKEA parts. So we'll go through and talk about the different versions of this as we go.
So this is our entryway, which doesn't actually have any of the... Well, it's kind of our second floor landing. It doesn't have any of the built-ins except
the cat box.
Look at this beautiful, beautiful finished carpentry work. That's a very large bottle, just so that you can get the scale.
Hand for scale. Yeah, so that's going to get covered up as wall. So you'll be a cute little trim around here. There's a little platform to walk in, and then the litter box will be inside there. And how do we clean the litter box, you might ask? On this side, it's a drawer. So this is the metal tray. It's going to get put on rails, and then we'll just slide it out into the bathroom on this side.
And it'll be tile under there.
Exactly. So this is all going to tile bathroom, tile under there. That way it's all part of the same floor and it's all waterproof in case we need to clean it. So that's the first little built-in.
Okay, this is the next one. This is probably the most cobbled together situation.
Yeah, this is definitely not, could have been planned better, I guess we could say. So on the other side of that wall is the under the stairs voiceover booth area. And when we were framing this, I was like, oh, just put a wall in the middle between the bathroom and the under the stairs, because then we can do shelves on this side. And we got to the point of doing shelves, and actually building shelves from scratch, especially when you want a bunch of them, or if you want them to be adjustable, is just more work. And at this point, I was like, well, let's save some time and money and just get an IKEA shelf. And it took me...
I like at this point, you're like, let's save some time and money.
Well, you'll see why by the end of this. So it took me a very long time to find the right size IKEA shelf. And it's not actually the right size because it doesn't actually go all the way to the back. And I'm a little bit sad about losing that space behind it. It's like 4 inches. But the idea is there's this, and then you might notice the hole goes up there. And that's because this cabinet door, which is also just from IKEA, already built. This is that whole height, and it'll swing out to be that tall. So that was a bit of using the space we have and trying to find IKEA parts that match. On the other side, that's going to be storage accessible from the other side of it. So we'll get a deeper shelf, narrower on that side of it.
And for people that might not know, this is our bathroom. This is the
downstairs bathroom.
The downstairs bathroom. So like primarily kind of guest
bathroom, washroom. Yeah, so this room went through a whole transformation because we wanted it to be train themed, first of all. And what exactly that meant, we were not exactly sure about. And now we're at the point of like, well, we need the details. So started doing some sketches and trying to lay out where the sink goes and combining the sink with the shelving and do we need storage behind the mirror and all that. And this is when I started getting the iPad out to do some sketches of what this room will look like. So the idea is there's this channel. We also had this problem of down at the bottom of the floor, there's a drain pipe that we couldn't move. It's behind this vacuum, but there's a drain pipe that we couldn't move that's actually inside this space. So we need to cover it with something. And there's not enough room to do like a full vanity and have the litter box drawer accessible. So I was like, well, what if we built a small box here so that that pipe is covered, and then this kind of becomes a whole vertical channel of the sink, the mirror, and a tiny tile backsplash. So that's what that's going to look like now. There'll be a sink floating here, a little backsplash, built in a mirror that's going to get built in. It's actually going to have a cabinet built exactly to the size of the mirror, which is going to slide in and look like it's built in.
We also looked at 275 sinks, approximately.
Approximately, yes.
We got very obsessed with colored concrete sinks. I will make sure a picture is inserted of one on the screen. And that informed a lot of kind of this how we were thinking about the rest of the space.
Yeah.
In the end, we went with, oh my God, I don't even remember what we went with in the end.
It is a concrete sink, but it was
It's not the $2,000
not the
one.
$2,000 concrete sink. And it's not in a fun color. It's just regular concrete gray.
Yeah.
But it is exactly the right size. It's this size. It's not actually meant to be floating. It's meant to be put on a counter. So I have brackets coming, which should arrive next week, which are the same brackets I used for our loft countertop. And that will go onto here, attach, and then the sink will sit on the brackets and it'll look like it's floating.
And then above it.
So above it is tile backsplash with the marble, the one spot we're gonna have actual marble. Just because Lily wants actual marble somewhere.
Well, I just
it's so nice. It really is nice. And then at about here we'll have this mirror cabinet because we need, more storage is good. And we already have like 4 inches here anyway, so it'll be a mirror with power. So it'll be a light also. And then above that we'll actually have to run this power cord up there as well and do lighting for actual light coming out. That's like gonna light the room up.
And there's a possibility that at the very top, a tiny Z-scale train is gonna go through the fake wall.
Right, because we're gonna have this fake wall 4 inches out here, so we could do a little tiny train around the room.
A little tunnel, just a little tunnel up there.
Yeah. So okay, that's that wall, and then come around to the other wall.
Oh, now this is This
is where things start to go a little over the top.
This is the give a mouse a cookie situation.
So, okay, you might notice that there is no window in this bathroom, first of all. This is because we were very limited on the number of windows we could have on that side of the building just because of fire codes and stuff. That's right up against the property line. So, no window in the bathroom, but we wanted it to be train themed. So I was like, what if we made a fake window that looks like a train window? So this wall already is built. Couldn't do anything with that wall. It's an exterior wall, can't go into it. But we can build in front of it. So this is a new 4-inch, basically cabinet that goes all the way from the top to the bottom. And it now looks like the wall. And this part opens. This whole top part opens. And I'm gonna mount a TV on the inside of this. And then this is actually gonna get cut out to look like a little curved train window. And they're actually gonna build this up with a few more layers of wood here, and then take this massive router bit, which is the biggest router bit I've ever seen, 1.5 inch, and it'll make a 1.5 inch curve on the inside of the window like you would see on a train. I did a lot of looking at train window pictures, and of course they're made out of metal, which I don't want to do metal fabrication for this. Again, trying to keep it somewhat affordable. But I knew...
I like Aaron's definition of affordable.
I knew that we can glue some wood together and router it out and make it look pretty good.
I just want to shout out to our incredible contractor crew that is rolling with all of these bananas ideas that Aaron keeps coming up with at the last minute.
I've been doing sketches on the iPad, doing 3D models, and then giving them sheets with measurements, and then it happens. It just shows up. It's fantastic.
They're very talented.
Yeah.
There's no other custom carpentry in this bathroom. So we've done one room now, and we've already shown you 3 things.
Yeah.
So
let's take a quick peek into your office.
My office is pretty straightforward. Okay, so this is my office, and these are custom, but they were not built by our contractors on site. These are part of the many cabinets that we ordered, which we've talked about before. A lot of parts of these are custom built to what they are going to hold. So like there's a double wide one for my large laser printer there. So that actually like fits my laser printer and has outlet holes in the back and all sorts of things that are set up for that. But this is the piece that they built, which was one of my big requests. And if you've been a longtime House Files viewer, you will know that this window went through a whole journey related to me getting this window seat. But so these cabinets were built as part of this, and then the top little bit to make it a window seat. was built by the contractor crew, and it's just going to be fabulous. One of our kittens loves windows, so she's going to be all over that.
Definitely her spot in this office, I'm sure.
Yeah, I may have to try to lure her out. Nothing else particularly nuts in here. We will.
Oh, we are going to get. We are actually going to do built-in shelves in the back corner of that.
Yeah.
And I did draw those up. It's only going to be like 4 shelves, mostly just so you can like stack boxes. Oh, and there's a closet rod on the bottom. Not adjustable shelves, trying to keep it simple. So.
I like when you say keep it simple for anything here.
Yeah, I know. It's a little, yeah.
Okay, going upstairs. Well, you get to see the first part right here, although it's already covered, which is kind of a bit.
I think I can uncover it. So this. Ooh.
Ooh, what a reveal.
This
Aaron's like, why do I keep sneezing?
Yeah. This was actually always part of the plan. Unlike some of the other things like the fake train window in the bathroom, this was actually part of the plan to have bench seating for the dining room. So the dining room table will be somewhere here.
Under a window.
Under a window. Bench seating that actually is also storage. So these open up and there's storage under there. So we had planned on doing bench seating since the beginning of the project, but hadn't actually drawn the detailed versions of it yet. So that was another fun project of me measuring out what actually got built and figuring out how high we wanted to sit. And
so the other thing is that we need to ask them to cut the back pieces.
right, we've decided on doing scallops for the back, and there'll be 6 in total. And Lily has convinced me that we can just make the cushions ourselves. So
Yeah, well, no, I'm convinced that our very skilled contractors can make the hard part.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that we can.
So we'll get them to cut plywood in the arches that are the right size, and then we will do the cushion and fabric over it.
Possibly my mother will do some of it as well.
Yeah.
She's watching this now and is like, wait, what?
Okay, living room. This was also part of the plan since the beginning to have bookshelves on this wall. So these shelves themselves are part of the cabinet order. The bookshelves got built separately in the cabinet order, but we wanted it to have arches over the top. So this part was done by our crew. So they basically built this little frame around it that just sits right on top of the whole thing, making it look like it's part of the bookshelves. Once it gets painted, it'll look like the bookshelves, really.
Starting to look like a real house.
Yeah. I did do one last minute addition here, which is I drilled a hole in the back of that cabinet because I was able to run an electrical cord from the back because that's the bathroom and it's still open. And now we'll have an outlet up on there in case we want to do a lamp or some sort of fun decoration.
Okay, this room. Not a lot done yet. We've gone through a journey with the finish. With this, well, okay, you can tell we've gone through a color journey.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, we're still not sold on any of the paint swatches.
This one we mentioned looked way too green last time we had this on the wall.
But it turns out if you put 2 other greens next to it, it looks less green.
Yeah, so now I think this is my top.
I know, but I feel like there's hundreds of paint colors.
Yeah.
And that we shouldn't be forced to choose between the universe of 5, but maybe it doesn't matter at this point. So, this room, as you could tell, has box paneling molding on it. And so it'll be upper and lower. You can see kind of the trace. Those aren't done yet. But I think what was particularly interesting about this is that we have 2 kind of things that we had to plan around. So the big one is that wall right there, as you can kind of see if you see the pencil lines here, this is going to be a mirror. So a 4-foot wide, like 84-inch tall mirror.
So let's talk about how we got to that number, because you said you just wanted a mirror on this wall. I was like, that was the...
And big. I wanted a mirror for dance.
Yeah. And that was that was kind of like, okay, let's figure out how we get a mirror on the wall. We also knew we wanted to do the box paneling on the walls, and then did a bunch of looking around at other people's houses and looking at sketches of how you do box paneling.
For a while we considered mirroring every surface in this room.
That's true. We did do that. We did consider that. But we determined that there's like a sort of right ratio that looks good for the paneling, and that gave us essentially 2 on that wall, 2 over there, 3 over here, and 3 here. So you can see this would be 1, and there would be 2 more, and then combined all of those into one mirror panel. So there's the lower one, the upper one, which is a taller, and then the mirror one takes over all what would have been 4 over there. And it's going to look great. It looks good in the sketches. And
so, but there's another factor in it. I'm actually putting a ballet bar in front of the mirror for stretching, and hopefully eventually we'll be able to, like, when we have parties, lay something on top of the bar so there's like a little tiny drink ledge for like karaoke or something.
Speaking of which, I should probably tell them we need to be able to screw a bar into this wall.
Oh gosh. See, this is yet another thing we didn't think about, because like studs.
Yeah.
Interesting.
This is the time to do it.
Yeah. So, well, the time to do it probably was a while ago, but but then there's also a mini split up here, if you can't see. So we had to plan around, like, do we interrupt the box paneling with the mini split? What do we do? We went through a lot of different situations. We looked up kind of some rules about what looks best for box paneling, and we discovered you can get away with an awful lot.
There's not exact rules, but it's the rule that I went with here is basically, so we have trim on the bottom, so all the panels start 6 inches from the bottom. They all have a 6-inch gap between them and between the next one on both dimensions, and they go up to the top of the existing window frame. So, and that's about 6 or 7 inches from the soffit up on the top as well. So that way it has a kind of even spacing around everything. I think it's going to look good.
I think it already looks good. I mean, the room looks a little chaotic right now, but...
that soffit, by the way, is another built-in, technically.
The soffit is
that's all just
beautiful.
Wood framed inside the room, and there's actually a power cord up there, so that whole thing will get a rope light around it, so it'll be all lit up from the top.
I'm gonna have the fanciest workout room. This is also our guest room and our karaoke room, so it's really doing a lot. Okay,
now into the bedroom, bathroom area. So again, we have a combo of cabinet order and constructed. So everything that's pink is part of the cabinet order that was built in the warehouse and then just installed. But the rest of Lily's closet side is getting built here. So this is Lily's closet. This part, there'll be a rod that pulls down. There'll be another rod down there. Nice big fat shelf here, really strong. And then there's a little channel up there, which is going to be LED strip lighting around the edge of the closet, which is super fun. There are cabinets under that pile already. But then this part was another one of those like, well, we need to figure out the details of how this works. Washer and dryer go here in this space, and they're only about that wide. So there's all this extra room for shelving. And I knew I wanted to do shelving here. I had always kind of just assumed we would do shelves that would go all the way back, which is actually really deep. I can't even reach in all the way. And again, this was one of the, hey, can we use IKEA cabinets here so we don't have to build all these shelves from scratch? And I was like, you know what? Sure, let's do it. So I did a bunch of research, found IKEA cabinets of the right width to make this work, but none of them were 30 inches deep, obviously. And they were only like, whatever this is, 18 deep or something, 15 or 18. And I was like, well, okay, that's fine, but I don't want to waste all the space behind that cabinet. So these are a reasonable depth, normal, what you would expect, normal cabinet depth. And if you come around to this side, on this side we have more IKEA cabinets going this way using the rest of that space behind the other cabinets.
Okay, so trying to get...
So now we get actual cabinets in this bathroom because we didn't have any before.
We might be trying to fit too much into this bathroom.
But this is great. So now we have cabinets over here. These were just, quick IKEA build. I actually built them and just brought them up here. And this is all sitting on top of another cat box. So that's the door for the cat box. That's going to pull out with that tray, which again, they didn't want to build an entire cabinet essentially from scratch. So I got a metal pull out like dish tray from Amazon, and that's what that's getting attached to.
Okay, so we're not going to go through all the bathroom drama. That is going to be a separate video because
That's
it's too much.
That's its own episode.
We do have a video of me having a slight mental breakdown. So, but what is cool is this, which Aaron designed and came up with out of his own brain.
Out of my own brain, correct.
Yeah, like this was not a Pinterest
Yeah.
inspired situation.
So what this is the shower is back here, and then there's the bathtub over there. And the idea was we wanted a shower niche so we can put bottles of stuff and a shelf for the tub also, so that you can set stuff on there when you're soaking. And I was like, well, why don't we combine it and make it the same thing, but we want them at different heights, so there'll be this cool angle in between. So all of this upper part and all of the bottom part are going to be the dark gray tile. And then the shower part will be this pink tile. And then inside of the niche here, that will be the same tile as the shower. And that effect I did see on a bunch of Pinterest of like tile the niche the same as like the accent wall, which I really liked. But I haven't seen anybody do it quite this extreme. So I hope it works.
I hope it works too. And hopefully, I mean, one of the concerns is we kind of are now going to have like an open air shower. So there'll be like a little piece of glass. Essentially, we're going to try to make it so that all the air doesn't escape through the niche.
Well, I mean, it's like, the glass is not going to the ceiling anyway. So it's already like open, and we're not even going to have a door. It's going to be just a piece of glass that comes to like halfway.
Yeah. But over there, there'll be
But over here, I do want to do a little piece of glass here because this is like where all the water is going to hit from the shower, the hand
it's
shower.
also where all the air will escape. All that nice steam that you get.
So we want to prevent all the water from going out there, but it's just a little glass sheet in addition to the main glass panel. I think it'll work. I think we might try to do another little niche here as well. All the faucets are going to go in that bay. All the hand, what are they called? Hand things. Faucets, knobs, fixtures. That's the word.
I don't know if that was the word you were looking for, but sure.
Fixtures. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the built-in. This is just a new wall that they built in front of the previous wall. And that gives us just enough space to do tiling on it to make the little shelf.
And I cannot wait to do for you a bathroom episode.
Yeah.
We went through on a 24-hour journey.
Yeah,
with
pretty
the
much.
bathroom.
But that's another story. So these are not exactly new, but this is the last kind of built-ins that are here right now. These are little 6x9-inch nooks, and they all have wires for power. And these are going to be little book nooks. We'll make little cute things that go insert into there, and then we can change them out for different events or seasons.
90% of this house is just an excuse to have tiny things.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So make little scenes of cats shipping boxes or...
I think we come up with a new tiny thing we want to make every day, so...
But it's great because we'll be able to build them as little individual things that can just kind of slide in there, and then you can take them out.
I don't know where the backstock is stored, but...
Yeah. There is another built-in up here that doesn't exist yet, but it's part of the stair system. So once we actually get the stairs in, there's going to be a cabinet up on the top. So that'll be fun.
Okay. So, who's late this week?
Oh, we didn't figure that out.
No, we did figure it out.
Who's late this week?
The electrical box.
Oh, yeah.
Still late.
We're still waiting for our electric meters.
We have been waiting over a year for our electrical meters. This is apparently a problem with a lot of multifamily buildings. And I don't think we're putting anyone on blast. It sounds like it's an international supply chain situation, but we don't have any choice. We have to get it from our power company.
Well, and it's like only one company that even makes them in the first place. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah. So we might be at risk of not being able to move in.
Because we don't have power.
Because we don't have official power. So you might be like, but why are there so many tools if you don't have power? There is temporary power to this building right now. So there's a temporary pole.
Yeah, it's literally a pole in the middle of the yard with the string coming from the power line.
It looks super sketchy, but the power company put it in.
Yeah.
But as far as the outlets working and everything,
none of the outlets here work. It's just extension cords running from the street, which is super safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, whatever. Still more safe than having just a natural gas line under your house.
Sure.
So, yeah, what's the word of the week?
Fixtures?
Fixtures. Just
That
'cause
was
you can't remember
I couldn't
it.
remember that word.
I think it's carpentry, though.
Carpentry
I
is
mean,
probably
this
that.
is some really phenomenal work.
Yeah.
It's amazing to watch how we just like imagine something and Aaron puts it in the modeling software and then they make it in reality.
It's been super fun to just sketch it up, do the drawings, and then be like, can you make this? And then it
also,
appears.
Our contractor keeps being impressed that Aaron can model these things, which is impressive, but like acts as though it's this rare skill. Whereas I'm like, but that's a thing you can learn.
Right.
The way that they actually turn that into real stuff in real life to me is more a magical skill that would take me much longer to acquire.
I will say I've been doing a good job of like the overall dimensions of things and things fitting together, but where I keep realizing that I'm missing the details on is the edges of things or accounting for the widths of like hinges. And so I've been like,
We've been
hey,
screwed by hinges a few times.
but I'll come in with like a drawing and be like, okay, here's how big this panel needs to be. And then they'll be like, oh, but what do you want the edge to look like?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, right. There's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a real skill.
And what we didn't know we needed to know.
There's been a couple of the things that I would have liked to have planned better for. We're doing okay now, but planning better for the built-ins would mean things like walls or floors would be at different heights to account for it better.
I'll tell you what I'm a little bummed about. We've wanted a linear drain in the shower all along. However, we changed at the last minute, as you will find out on the bathroom episode. We completely reconfigured the bathroom and including the shower. And now the linear drain is not possible because it interferes with structural support.
Well, the linear drain wasn't possible in the other version of the bathroom either. That's the problem, is that it turns out in order to get a linear drain, you have to plan farther ahead.
So that's what we didn't know we needed to know,
Yeah.
is that we did not realize that the linear drain was just a like, oh, it's just a drain you choose and they put it in. We didn't realize that it like goes down lower than the floor.
Right.
And so you need to be able to plan around the joists.
Yep.
So, yeah. And so, yeah, that's your update. There's so much more. Things are going very fast now. And it's been a while since we've put out a video. So there's just a lot of updates. But we figured we would put all of this into one episode, just all these cool built-ins. More to come.
More to come, and these are not finished yet, and they're going to look even better when they're done. So,
Yeah.
And there are more to come, and we've got more updates on the other units for later as well.
So until next time.
Don't build a triplex, but do build built-ins.
And subscribe, leave a comment down below, and tell us what built-in you wish you had.